a very healthy growth rate we can achieve in near future for next 4-5 years, provided the policy prescribed in the budget is implemented without not much resistance. So if this feat can be achieved, that we are successful, we implemented, and there is no, limited protest can always be there, but not beyond a point. So if this can be managed, then this budget is going to be a wonderful budget for the economy, and everything will be, in my opinion, much better. With these words, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable views. As you told that we should move towards a free trade, and I hope we learned a lot. And I would now invite some students for their question. If anyone has to ask something, please, you are welcome to have your quick questions, please.
Yeah, please, Shubham. May I ask? Sachin Jain from MBA Journal, Section A.
Yes, sure, Sachin. You can please proceed.
Sir, thank you for giving us the opportunity for conducting this wonderful session. Sir, my question is to you. That is, how the percentage is being allocated in the different sectors, like in the 7 pillars, how the budget percentage is being allocated to the different pillars of the economy.
You are not clearly audible. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure, sir, sure. I'm asking you that how the percentage of the budget is being allocated by the Ministry of Finance for the 7 pillars of the economy.
Well, you see, there is no rule, no guideline. The parliament is sovereign, and finance minister present the budget. It is a political thing. Please remember, and what is acceptable to public, that is presented. As far as these figures, 2%, 3% are concerned.
Yes, sir.
Based on certain studies, past experience, recommendation of experts, we, the so-called experts, keep on repeating that, well, as a rule of thumb, in a sense, we can say that defense expenditure should not be below 3% of GDP, so that defense preparedness is not adversely affected, or things like this. And similarly, in government education policy, government itself has committed that it would be spending 6% of GDP on education. Not it, the government would be spending. So, and one more thing is there, which you should know, that total government, the government means government of India plus all state governments put together. So 50% of the total money is spent by the government of India, and 60% of the money is spent by the all governments put together. So it is not that only union government matters. State governments also have some role to play about education, about health, about water supply, about agriculture. So please keep in mind. So state governments are also there. But yes, a recommendation is that on education, total money spent on by the state and government of India should be 6%, and on education it should be 6%. Health it should be 1.5%. R&D more than 1%. So these are the recommendations of the experts. So on the basis of that, we keep on saying.
Hello, may I add on something, sir? Ashish Huda from Finance.
Yeah, sure, Ashish, please.
It also depends on, economy's conditions, environment. Like if it's a developed nation, they'll more focus on defense and technical advancement. If it's a developing countries, they'll focus on education,
we can take question towards
medicines.
the end. Won't that be better? Pardon?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. As you said.
Questions बहुत सारे होंगे तो इकट्ठे ले जाएंगे तो बेटर रहेगा.
ये इसका मैं थोड़ा सा जब ये कंप्लीट कर देते हैं इन्होंने जो पूछा है.
Okay, sir.
You see, it is not a recommendation, sir. It is not a. You please keep in mind that defense is something a nation does not need to fight when its army is best equipped. If your army is not properly equipped, for your enemies take advantage of it and they start troubling you. So that is why this money is required. It is not something for academic purpose. When they see, well, your army is not, having sophisticated weapons, your enemy will take the benefit and they will start putting more pressure on you. And when you are having superior technology, superior equipments, then they will back off. Things are like this. So it depends how your neighbors are doing, and in response to them, how much you will have to spend. It has nothing to do with developing or developed. It depends on your requirements.
Sir, but we have seen in the Ministry of Defense the budget has been reduced this year. But the situation in the borders are very critical. We have seen in the news too.
I think Professor Sanjeev is saying we can have the question answered in the.
Yes, Sachin, we will take the question afterwards. Now it's time to move forward in this session.
No
Due
issues.
to
Thank
time
you so much.
limitations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir, and thank you, Sachin. Now I would like to welcome Sanjeev sir to take the session and put his views on this budget. So you are
Thank you.
please welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Am I audible? Is my voice
Yes, sir.
reaching you, Shubham?
Yes, sir,
Okay.
you are clearly audible.
So, after Professor NK has spoken so illustriously, so long, at least in terms of economic implication, not much is left for me to speak. But I'll keep it simple. Since majority of today's audience constitute of MBA students, I like to keep it simple, and I'll try to make you understand what budget is and how should we look at the budget. Its economic implication Dr. NK has discussed, but I'll discuss how we should look at the budget. And in that way, is this year's budget good or bad? I'll tell in brief, and then you can analyze yourself. So would you prefer me in Hindi, English, or a mix? Guys, choices, please.
Sir, mix.
Okay, I'll prefer that too. अच्छा चलो हम सिंपल से स्टार्ट करते हैं कि एमबी के स्टूडेंट हैं, तो बजट होता क्या है और बजट को हम कैसे देख सकते हैं. Briefly speaking, budget, if we talk of any individual, budget is nothing like a planning of expenditure based upon your income and on your priorities. Three things: income, expenditure, and priority. Okay, so and you plan. This is budget. Same thing applies to, same चीज apply होता है हमारा annual budget का. Annual budget is a little more than summation of all the incomes and expenditure of the government in a given period of a time, and the planning for the coming expenditure. But the budget in a sense is more than the summation. That budget gives the direction to the economy. कि हमें गवर्नमेंट की इतनी इनकम है, गवर्नमेंट इतनी इनकम में से कौन सा पैसा कहाँ खर्च कर रही है. दैट इज की थिंग कि गवर्नमेंट अपने पैसे में से कितना पैसा कहाँ कैसे खर्च कर रही है. और अगर खर्चा ज्यादा है तो जो बैलेंस है वो बैलेंस गवर्नमेंट किन रिसोर्सेज से जनरेट कर रही है, और वो जो बैलेंस है यानी कि जो खर्चा ज्यादा है इनकम से, spending excess of spending our income, where that money is going. So this entire thing is like budget. तो जब बजट पे हम पैसा खर्चते हैं तो हम ये देखते हैं कि आपका जो मैक्सिमम पैसा है, और स्पेशली वो वाला पैसा जो आपने अपनी इनकम से ज्यादा खर्च किया है. गवर्नमेंट में तो आपने एक फर्क किया है कि गवर्नमेंट अपनी आमदनी से ज्यादा खर्च कर सकती है. आपके लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल है, इंडिविजुअल के लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल है. वो जो एक्स्ट्रा खर्च किया गवर्नमेंट या उधार ले सकती है, और गवर्नमेंट अपने मोनेटाइजेशन कर सकती है. सो दैट इज द प्रोसेस. तो जो एक्सेस है वो गवर्नमेंट कहाँ खर्च कर रही है, कैसे खर्च कर रही है, दैट इज द की. अगर वो पैसा गवर्नमेंट खर्च कर रही है उन चीजों पे जहां से प्रोडक्टिव रिटर्न आएगा, चाहे वो हेल्थ है, एजुकेशन है, या कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, जहां से प्रोडक्टिव रिटर्न आएगा, तो हम कह सकते हैं कि वो जो पैसा खर्च किया है वो अपना जो खर्चा है वो जनरेट कर लेगा. और अगर नहीं कर पा रही गवर्नमेंट, तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि गवर्नमेंट का जो ये गैप है बढ़ता जाएगा. और क्योंकि जो पैसा लिया है, इस पैसे पे गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स तो देना है, चाहे वो स्मॉल सेविंग है, चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट ने बोरो किया है, वो टैक्स जो प्रोपोर्शन है वो बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगा. तो अल्टीमेटली इन लॉन्ग रन दिस वॉन्ट बी गुड. तो सारा खेल इस चीज का है कि गवर्नमेंट अपने रेवेन्यू यानी कि आमदनी कहाँ से जनरेट कर रही है, टैक्स से कितना जनरेट कर रही है, और सोर्सेज से कितना जनरेट कर रही है, और वो जो गवर्नमेंट ने अर्न किया प्लस उसमें जो पैसा उधार लिया है वो किन सोर्सेज से ले रहे हैं, क्योंकि बाजार की उधार देने की क्षमता लिमिटेड है। अगर आप एक्सेस मार्केट से उठाते हो या इवन लोगों की स्मॉल सेविंग्स को एक्सेस लेते हो, तो मार्केट में एक्सेस पैसा तो लिमिटेड है, तो वो पैसा क्या है कि गवर्नमेंट अगर प्रोडक्टिव सेक्टर में नहीं जा रहे तो ओवरऑल इकोनॉमी के लिए बहुत लॉसफुल होगा, क्योंकि वो पैसा प्रोडक्टिव सेक्टर से कहाँ जा रहा है, नॉन प्रोडक्टिव सेक्टर में जा रहा है, और लॉन्ग रन में ये इकोनॉमी को बहुत डैमेज करेगा। तो आपको बजट को इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखना है कि ओवरऑल, चाहे वो इस साल का बजट है, चाहे पिछले साल का बजट है, चाहे वो आने वाला बजट है, कि ओवरऑल गवर्नमेंट अपने रेवेन्यू किन सेक्टर से जनरेट कर रही है। यानी कि अगर आपने टैक्स लगाया है, अगर आपका टैक्स ऐसा लग रहा है उस जगह से टैक्स का पैसा आ रहा है कि जिस जगह पे एक्स्ट्रा टैक्स लगाने से इकोनॉमी के प्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम में, इकोनॉमी के स्पेंडिंग्स में ज्यादा नेगेटिव फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है, तो आपका रिसोर्स जनरेशन सही कहा जाएगा। लेकिन अगर आपने ऐसे सेक्टर्स पे पैसा लगा दिया या ऐसे पैसा लगा दिया कि इकोनॉमी या स्पेंडिंग्स कम होगी या प्रोडक्टिव सेक्टर में पैसा जाने वाला कम हो गया, इसका मतलब कि आपका रिसोर्स जनरेशन सही जगह से नहीं है। सिमिलरली आपकी स्पेंडिंग्स पे, आपकी स्पेंडिंग्स प्रोडक्टिव सेक्टर में जा रही है, इसका मतलब आपकी डायरेक्शन सही है। आपकी स्पेंडिंग्स नॉन प्रोडक्टिव सेक्टर में जा रही है, इसका मतलब आपका आप जो पैसा खर्च कर रहे हैं वो अल्टीमेटली लॉन्ग रन में नुकसान करेगा। तो हम हर बजट को इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देख सकते हैं। नंबर 2, चाहे कोई भी बजट हो, बजट इज, हम अक्सर देखते हैं कि एक साल का बजट पता नहीं क्या कर देगा। बजट ब्रॉड डायरेक्शंस देने के अलावा बजट बहुत ज्यादा इंपैक्ट नहीं डाल सकता। बजट इज एन जस्ट वन स्टेप इन द कंटिन्यूम, एंड व्हाट इज दैट कंटिन्यूम? द ओवरऑल पॉलिसी डायरेक्शंस ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, overall vision of the government. Budget is just one part of the overall economic and the governance philosophy and policy of the government. तो जो आपका ओवरऑल विजन है वो अगर सही नहीं है तो एक साल का बजट कुछ नहीं कर सकता, राइट? सो दिस इज द सेकंड थिंग। तो बजट आपका एक डायरेक्शन देता है कि बजट आपका जो एग्जिस्टिंग आपकी फिलोसफी है, गवर्नमेंट का जो विजन है, उसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में वो कहाँ फिट बैठता है और उसी का कंटिन्यूम है। तो दिस इज हाउ वी नीड टू सी द बजट। इस पर क्वेश्चन बाद में कर सकते हैं कि बजट को देखना कैसे चाहिए। मैं क्योंकि एमबीए के स्टूडेंट्स की और जो हमारे इनिशियल रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स हैं उनके एंगल से बता रहा हूँ, ताकि आप मेरे बिना ये बताए कि बजट सही है या गलत है, आप बजट को सही में देख सके। तो इतने ये 3 ही फैक्टर हैं बजट को देखने के। अब आते हैं हम इस साल के बजट पे। मैं एक चीज आपको जरूर कहना चाहूंगा, प्रोफेसर एन के बिश्नोई ने एक कहा था, he built up the background that with this background this year's budget is to be seen। और background क्या थी कि जो हमारा लास्ट ईयर गया है, because of pandemic the economy was very down, agreed upon। but अगर हम रेवेन्यू जनरेशन देखें तो जो रेवेन्यू जनरेशन में फॉल है वो सिर्फ इस साल नहीं है, इस साल थोड़ा एक्सेस है, बट 15, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19 अगर हम रेवेन्यू रिसीप्ट गवर्नमेंट की देखें तो ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर सी है। तो ये जो इकोनॉमिक में जो कॉन्ट्रैक्शन था, जो इकोनॉमिक दिखते हैं, अगर आप नेट पे जाके रेवेन्यू रिसीप्ट्स देख सकते हैं, तो जो दिखते हैं वो दिखते हैं इस साल ने बढ़ाई जरूर है, वो दिखते पिछले कई 3-4 सालों से इकोनॉमी वाज नॉट मैनेज्ड वेल। नाउ द इशू इज के इकोनॉमी मैनेज कैसे हो सकती है पिछले 3-4 साल से, और स्पेशली जो पैंडेमिक ईयर है, पैंडेमिक ईयर में कि आप इकोनॉमी में अगर डिमांड साइड डाउन है, आपको दो ही चीजें संभाल सकते हैं। यू स्पेंड मनी ऑन डेवलपमेंट साइड, ऑन द कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, ऑन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, सो दैट द प्रोडक्टिविटी इज इंक्रीज्ड। इट मींस एक देश की इकोनॉमी ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए आप उसको गियर अप कर रहे हैं। दैट इज कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट, that is like infrastructure investment। और दूसरा है demand boost। like when demand is down, there should be some measure on the part of the budget and on the part of the government to increase the demand side, and demand side has been low in recent years। demand नहीं होगी तो private sector बहुत ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए, हालांकि हमारी जो इंटरेस्ट रेट है वो ठीक ठाक है, बट since demand side is down, so demand side down है तो ऑब्वियसली सप्लाई के लिए आपका प्राइवेट सेक्टर ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड नहीं रहेगा। तो लास्ट 1 ईयर में आप देखें, पैंडेमिक ईयर में देयर वाज अ जॉब लॉस ऑफ 12 करोड़, 12 करोड़ लोगों ने अपनी नौकरी खोई थी एक साल में। तो यानी कि ओवरऑल आपकी इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस पैराडायमिक से बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत हो गई थी। अब इश्यू आता है कि हमें उसको एड्रेस कैसे करना था। हमें उसको एड्रेस दो ही तरीकों से करना था। वन, ऑफ कोर्स द कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर एंड expenditure in infrastructure should be substantially increased. Second side, that some boost should be given to the demand side. और अब हम इस बजट को देखेंगे तो डिमांड साइड को तो कंज्यूमर डिमांड को बढ़ाने का मुझे तो इमीडिएट कुछ ऐसा नजर नहीं आता। दूसरा जो प्रोफेसर एनके ने कहा है कि ये जो बजट है, मैं आपको बताया था दो तीन जो सेकंड पार्ट है, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर हो चाहे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट हो, उस पार्ट पे ये बजट थोड़ा सा बेटर डायरेक्शन में दिख रहा है इन कंपैरिजन टू द पास्ट। आवर ऑनरेबल फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर हैज एटलीस्ट ट्राइड टू गिव ए पॉजिटिव आउटलुक टू द करंट बजट। उसमें मेन जो चीजें उसमें जो इस बार रही हैं हमारी, कि कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर अच्छा खासा इंक्रीज हुआ है, वो लगभग 4,40,000 से 5,50,000 रुपए आ गया है। गवर्नमेंट ने मोनेटाइजेशन ऑफ असेट्स की बात करी है। मोनेटाइजेशन क्या होता है, उसका ब्रीफ में बताया था कि वो असेट्स जो रेवेन्यू जनरेट नहीं कर रही हैं, उन असेट्स से किसी तरह से, चाहे उसके अगेंस्ट बोरोइंग है, चाहे उसमें कोई इनोवेटिव तरीके ढूंढे जाएं, उससे रेवेन्यू जनरेट किया जाए। अर्बन सैनिटाइजेशन एक और जो बड़ी डायरेक्शन है वो है यानी कि लाइक मूविंग टुवर्ड्स प्राइवेटाइजेशन, स्पेशली एफडीआई अलाउ की है इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर में। ये बहुत पुरानी डिमांड थी, पिछले कई सालों से चली आ रही है, और इस गवर्नमेंट ने इस एफडीआई में, इस सेक्टर में लिबरलाइजेशन नहीं किया था, जो इस बार करना पड़ा है। सो दिस शुड हैव बीन डन many years back, बट स्टिल अगर एफडीआई आपने इंश्योरेंस में अलाउ कर दी है 51 से 74, बट रिटेल आपने वहीं का वहीं छोड़ दिया। रिटेल सेक्टर हैज ए बिग स्कोप, लेकिन रिटेल छोड़ दिया। तो स्टिल आई फील के गवर्नमेंट के विजन में कहीं बहुत सारे इश्यूज हैं। पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक को प्राइवेटाइज करना ठीक है, रेडीनेस टू स्पेंड मोर, गवर्नमेंट दिख रही है ज्यादा स्पेंड करने की डायरेक्शन में। क्यों दिख रही है? कि गवर्नमेंट ने फिजिकल डेफिसिट की बहुत ज्यादा परवाह नहीं की। मीन मतलब क्या है कि गवर्नमेंट एक्स्ट्रा खर्च करने की कोशिश कर रही है, एटलीस्ट दिख रही है। किया नहीं किया मैं उसमें एक मिनट बाद में आऊंगा। और दूसरा, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फोकस किया है। तो ये जो बजट के जो डायरेक्शंस इस बार दिख रहे हैं, ओवरऑल डायरेक्शन, ये थोड़े से ठीक डायरेक्शन में दिख रहे हैं। उतना नहीं दिख रहे हैं उतना जितना सारे हमारे जितने न्यूज़पेपर्स ने इसको बजट को सिर पे उठा लिया है, वैसा इस बजट में कुछ भी नहीं है। लेट मी टेल यू वेरी क्लियरली। अब मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रहा हूं? बट यस, डायरेक्शंस आर पॉजिटिव। और इन जितनी भी डायरेक्शन है बजट में, जितना भी थोड़ा बहुत भी जो भी है, अगर इसको गवर्नमेंट, डॉक्टर एनके ने जो कहा था कि इसको ठीक से इंप्लीमेंट कर लिया, दिस माइट रियली गिव गुड रिजल्ट्स। ये तो पॉजिटिव साइड का था। अब मैं आता हूं बजट की कि why I don't agree with all the newspapers and many other experts are saying this year's budget is something great and big and all that. The first thing, it said कि like government ने बजट को 30 लाख करोड़ से 35 लाख करोड़ के आसपास कर दिया है। यानी कि जो बजट का साइज है, that has been increased from 30 lakhs to 35 lakhs approximately. But this in fact is not the fact. The fact, what is the fact? The actual expenditure of like the bygone years expected expenditure is the size of the budget of the last, like the revised estimate of 2021 is roughly 34 lakh rupees, 34.5. And what is the size of the current budget of 21-22 is 34 lakh 80,000. So almost the same size. The expenditure, the total size of the budget of the last year and the size of the current year is almost similar. So all the halla gulla that is overstated. Now comes more thing. See, okay, health sector has given substantial boost. I agree, but the figure that it is almost more than double increase. In fact, that is because of some marginal increases in all the sectors that they have government have clubbed under health sector. But per se, the health itself, the health sector itself, if we reduce the expenditure on COVID, that is roughly 35,000 crore, roughly I think it is 35,000 crore. So that like I leave it to you कि वो capital expenditure है या वो like that will generate, but health को हम अच्छा मानते हैं तो, but that is only one time expenditure. उसको निकाल दें तो health sector has got minimal boost. Then the government is talking of infrastructure, especially the rural. Yes, the government urban sanitation and all that something has got, but rural development, say okay, 30,000 से 40,000 increase किया है. ये कितना बड़ा increase है. Rural sector एक sector है जो आपकी इकोनॉमी को बूस्ट दे सकता था. कैसे दे सकता था? उसमें इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एक्सपेंडिचर ज्यादा होता और जो रूरल डेवलपमेंट की जितनी भी स्कीम्स हैं उस पर थोड़ा फोकस किया जाता. रूरल सेक्टर आपको ज्यादा क्यों दे सकता था? क्योंकि इस साल और इससे पिछले साल एक ही सेक्टर है जिसने आपको पॉजिटिव ग्रोथ दी है, and that is agriculture sector. Roughly 3 to 4% increase of growth of GDP, and that is the only sector. तो उस रूरल सेक्टर में अगर आप डिमांड जनरेशन करते तो that would have been huge benefit. लेकिन इस प्रेजेंट बजट में रूरल सेक्टर पे जितना भी इन्वेस्टमेंट था, रूरल डेवलपमेंट पे, सैनिटाइजेशन, मनरेगा की स्कीम आपकी डाउन हो गई है. सो मनरेगा डाउन, चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट डाउन, एंड जो रूरल पे और जो जितना भी और एक्सपेंडिचर था that is also down. You can see the like budget figures. Then we talk of agriculture, overall expenditure on agriculture down. We talk of education, नई economic policy government लेके आ रही है. Professor इनके ने ठीक कहा, always it is not the quantum of money spent but the way it is spent. But the way it is spent cannot be changed in 1 year. आप एक साल में उस पैसे को, this is always in a quantum, a continuum, कि आप एजुकेशन पे कैसे खर्च कर रहे हैं. लेकिन उसको आप रातों रात चेंज नहीं कर सकते. तो हम ये मान के चल सकते हैं कि भैया जैसे पहले चल रहा था ऐसे ही चलेगा. उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में एजुकेशन पे ओवरऑल बजट जो आपका है वो 6,000 करोड़ रुपए से डाउन गया. डिफेंस सेम. नो, say the government is talking all big things, but again I admit the quality of expenditure is more important, but that quality cannot be brought about in one year. So like in this year's budget, like मनरेगा is down. मैंने अभी कहा था कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट डाउन है. एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है? कि डिमांड एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन से क्रिएट होगी, और जब तक डिमांड क्रिएट नहीं होगी लॉन्ग टर्म ग्रोथ आप नहीं ला सकते. प्राइवेट सेक्टर का इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं आ सकता. सारा जो ग्रोथ है, सारी जो चीजें वो अपर सेक्टर और मिडिल सेक्टर तक रह जाएगा, जो कि आपको दिख भी रहा है. So with this background, I close my view that this budget seems to be having a proper direction, but all halla.
Sir, sorry for the interruption, but your mic is muted. Sir, your mic is muted. Please unmute.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir. Now it is okay.
इससे पहले का सुना है ना?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
I conclude by saying, my all the students, कि जो डायरेक्शन बजट में दिख रही है वो ठीक डायरेक्शन में है थोड़ा बहुत, बट जो हल्ला गुल्ला है जो अखबार लिख रहे हैं, जो like all the thing, that is I think that is created, that is generated. I don't see anything great, but still if whatever little is done in this year's budget, if that could be done, that could be spent, and जो projected revenues हैं, जो मुझे लगता नहीं जो प्रोजेक्ट गवर्नमेंट ने किया वो रेवेन्यू आएंगे. प्रोजेक्ट कहां से किया है? एफडीआई से आएगा. आप प्रोजेक्ट कहां से किया है कि डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट का आपका टारगेट रखा है 2.2 लाख करोड़ का, 1,75,000. आई डोंट सी इट कमिंग. तो एनके सर ने बता दिया 2 लाख करोड़ में से 35,000 करोड़ आया था, तो 1.75 में से कहां आएगा? तो अल्टीमेटली आपका जो डेफिसिट है वो लास्ट ईयर का भी बढ़ेगा, और जो डेफिसिट है इस साल का भी बढ़ेगा. और डेफिसिट बढ़ेगा तो जो whatever little money was to come from the private sector वो भी डाउन जाएगी. But still, if government is determined to manage it well, which I don't know, then still this budget gives a little hope. With these words, I end my presentation. Thank you, Shubham, and thank you, everybody. Caution can be taken towards the end.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your valuable views. And as you told about the budget in a very simple way. So I hope it was helpful for the students who joined. And now I would like to invite very respected our Director of HSB, Professor Karampal Narwal, to present his views on this budget. You are welcome.
Shubham, please first invite Chartered Accountant Ashok Goyal ji.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, please.
I may put my vision later, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
He is our invited speaker expert. Let him take his call, then, please. Goyal sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, Goyal sir, please, you are welcomed for your views.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to all panelists and students. मैं बहुत ही सिंपल बात करना चाहूंगा बजट के लिए. अच्छा है या बुरा है वो तो जैसे जैसे चलता है वैसे देखेंगे, लेकिन बजट है क्या है? एक एक्सरसाइज है इनकम और एक्सपेंडिचर की. यू हैव टू बैलेंस बोथ द थिंग्स. एज ए person, I want these benefits should be given to me, this benefit should be given to me. But it is a very simple exercise. If I get some benefit, somebody has to pay it. Government is not going to give it from its own pocket. There is no pocket as such. From one side, it is to collect the things, and on the other side, it is to spend the things. So under these circumstances, we are going deficit, and GDP is very low, production is low, everything is low. Then the government has not levied any new taxes. I am concerned with mainly with the taxes. It is a welcome budget for that purpose, because the people don't have the capacity to pay at this time, and government has not levied any taxes, which was very much expected, that they may levy some surcharge on account of COVID, etc. So no new taxes under GST, under Income Tax Act, that tax, no tax has been levied, considering that the people will not be able to pay it. Second thing is, the government has not increased the expenditure, but has not curtailed the expenditure. No doubt it is their priority in which sector it is to be spent, but they have not curtailed the expenditure, and that is one good thing in these times. They have, how the money will come when there is no increase in taxes, no production increase, or there is no source. They have gone for the monetization or borrowings or FDI. So that is a question, how much we will be able to borrow, how much monetization can take place, and how much FDI will be there. That is up to the government to manage, so that the expenditure side remains the same. If we curtail the expenditure, then naturally everything will again fall down. For example, I give you, you have to collect the taxes. Say tax is 10%. To increase it, you can go for 12%. That pinches everybody. The question is, if the production increases, working increases, then the 10% itself generate the revenue, which is equal to the 12%. And that is the focus of the government now, to invest in infrastructure, increase the activities, and not to increase the rates of taxation. Or main purpose is how to invest it, how to spend it. तो जो भी गवर्नमेंट ने स्कीम दी है वो सभी लगभग ठीक है. ज्यादा जोर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे दिया गया है. जब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनेगा तो हमारी कई कॉस्ट कम हो जाती हैं. कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर पे ज्यादा जोर दिया गया है तो उससे हमारी कई कॉस्ट कम हो जाती हैं. तो उससे आगे रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर कम अपने आप हो जाता है. तो मतलब इसको ये कह सकते हैं भी इनकम जनरेटिंग एसेट्स में अगर वो पैसा लग रहा है तो वो ठीक है. तो मेरा ये कहना है भी हाउ द गवर्नमेंट विल बी एबल टू अचीव इट, लेकिन डायरेक्शन इज नाइस इन दिस सर्कमस्टेंस. डायरेक्शन इज क्वाइट ओके एंड दे आर गोइंग वेल. और जहां तक प्राइवेटाइजेशन और गवर्नमेंट अंडरटेकिंग का सवाल है, तो बहुत से इकोनॉमिस्ट ने तो बहुत पहले से कहा गवर्नमेंट का काम ही नहीं है बिजनेस करना. Wheresoever government has done business, they are failure. लेकिन हम गवर्नमेंट को सिर्फ ये मान के चलते हैं गवर्नमेंट सिक्योर्ड है और प्राइवेट सेक्टर सिक्योर्ड नहीं है. तो गवर्नमेंट में काम किसने करना है, उसमें भी तो हम जैसे लोग हैं, हम ही ने करना है काम. लेकिन वहाँ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कम है, प्राइवेट सेक्टर में रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ज्यादा है। तो प्राइवेट जितना भी बिजनेस है वो तो मच बेटर है अभी प्राइवेट सेक्टर में जाए, दे कैन मेक बेस्ट यूज ऑफ देयर एसेट्स, बेस्ट यूज ऑफ देयर फंड्स एंड टेक द वर्क फ्रॉम द एम्प्लॉइज आल्सो टू दैट एक्सटेंट। तो वो एक वेलकम स्टेप है। अगर हम पॉलिटिकली देखते हैं तो वो बड़ा ऐसा लगता है भी हर चीज प्राइवेट में जा रही है, देश को बेचा जा रहा है, वो जा रहा है, लेकिन जहां तक कमर्शियल एक्टिविटीज हैं दैट शुड बी विद द प्राइवेट सेक्टर, ओनली देन वी कैन फ्लरिश। दूसरी बात, कोई भी जीडीपी बढ़ेगी, कुछ भी बढ़ेगी तो तभी बढ़ेगी जब कुछ नया बन रहा है, प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा हो रही है, एग्रीकल्चर में प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा हो रही है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर में प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा हो रही है, एक्सपोर्ट भी तभी हो पाएगा इफ यू आर एबल टू प्रोड्यूस समथिंग। तो जो हमारे पिछले डेफिसिट रहे हैं, जो मैं समझ पा रहा हूँ कई सालों से, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर है वो सबसे वीक रहा है, वो डाउन ही चलता गया, गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसी से लगा लो या किसी भी वजह से वो डाउन था। तो जब तक प्रोडक्शन हमारे यहाँ नहीं होगी तब तक ये इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ नहीं कर सकती। तो इस बार इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे जोर दिया गया है, स्टार्टअप्स पे जोर दिया गया है। तो ओवरऑल इट इज अ गुड बजट, बट अगेन द थिंग्स इट हाउ यू मैनेज इट, that is the issue. I am dealing with direct taxes, so in that case there is no change. There are a number of amendments, but these are only procedural. So if any question is there, I will be able to answer you. Otherwise, Professor has made very clear about the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable views. And now I would request our very respected director to take over the session, please.
Thank you. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And our Honorable Vice Chancellor will join us in 10-minute time. He is in a meeting. I have just spoken to him. He will join at around 4:30. So he will bless all of us. So in continuation of my previous speakers, Professor N.K. Vishnoi, Professor Sanjeev Kumar, and Chartered Accountant Ashok Goelji, they have elaborated every dimension of the Union Budget 2021-22, and they have given their own analysis in their own way. I'm not going to repeat whatever they have spoken, either side, but I would choose a very selected aspect where I wish to enlighten the participant, because this budget is not something unusual or something unique or something not, you can say, out of league se hatke, something not like that. It is an kind of ordinary budget which is presented in these extraordinary circumstances, in which the expectations of all stakeholders, including the middle group income, employees, farmers, rural India, and educationists, were alarming very high. So when you have resources at your disposal are very limited, and the stakeholders' expectations are unlimited, sometimes it is very difficult whether or not the Honorable Finance Minister has been able to make a perfect trade-off between the expectations and the resources available, or she had other alternatives ways to also to address those issues. But whatever has been proposed, now it is the final outcome before us. So therefore, we have to take some good take from this budget, and some maybe caution, and some maybe you can say precaution as well. So two things very good which I like to take, and which are directly useful to our students, that two sector will flourish very fast, and that very clear signal has been given in the budget by the Finance Minister. The first one is the insurance sector. I believe that in next 20 years, I repeat that in next 20 years, the insurance sector alone in India would generate more than 20 lakh jobs. Because at this present, the penetration of insurance sector is less than 10%, even in life insurance, and less than 2% in health insurance, and therefore with a population base of more than 135 crore, in which at least you say at least if you target even 50 crore people, so if 50 crore people are addressed in next 10, 15 years, so they will create a huge opportunity for the companies and for the youth in the insurance sector, because foreign investment has been allowed to the tune of 74%. In this background, I must say that COVID-19 has proved very useful to India. Somehow, in the best part of the world, that is America and Europe, there is a kind of perception that as if China is not good for foreign investment, and whatever sort of checks and balances are being put in place by these economies on Chinese investment route, these are directly to great extent are helping to us, and that is why we are opening our door at that time when the best part of the world is looking for alternative opportunity, and therefore insurance sector will certainly grab this opportunity. Another very important sector is the banking sector and financial sector, which always we call the engine of economy. You know, for last 2-3 years especially, the engine is not working very well, and the credit growth is not taking off. Economic expansion has not been so good. That is largely because in particularly public sector banks, there was a issue of non-performing asset, NPA, and in this budget the honorable finance minister has proposed a asset reconstruction company, and if I call it in very simple word, bad bank of India. I have heard the interview of esteemed governor of RBI today in its monetary policy where he presented that very soon he is likely to get the detailed framework of Bad Bank of India, or you call it asset reconstruction company, which will take over 2.5 lakh crore rupees of assets which have turned bad in the banking sector, thereby allowing the balance sheet of the public sector bank to be neat and clean, so that they can take new opportunity of credit offtake. So that is a very interesting thing, and uh, this proposal is coming from the Indian Banking Association. So Government of India with the Indian Banking Association under the regulatory framework and supervision of RBI is going to implement this concept, and I foresee a great success of this venture. If that happens, that will not only allow the PSUs to work efficiently, but also open the door for private sector banks. They can also be part of it in a later stage. So therefore, these two sectors, for them, a clear signal has been given in the budget by the government, because I consider it is a kind of economic reforms. And one very interesting thing, with the due respect to all my predecessors, my previous speakers, that there is a consensus on the economic reform in India. Now, in fact, there is no very such voice of dissent when we go for economic reforms. So therefore, these two sectors are going to benefit to a greater extent. And if you have seen in last 5-6 trading days, the Sensex has rose to the tune of more than 5.5 thousand, and it is largely because of the banking sector. If anybody who is interested in the stock market can see that banking sector had flourished in the last 1 week after the budget, because it was under tremendous pressure and what a great underperformer in the stock market as well. Third sector which I can see where our focus is again coming, that is the health sector. And this pandemic, this COVID-19 has made us realize that health is wealth and health is very important. I don't say much about it, how we have been able to handle the COVID-19, because now the zero test, these are coming in NCR region, more than 50% people have got herd immunity and all that. But God has saved us, and if the government like to take some credit, there is no issue. But one thing we have realized very clear, that health is a very important issue, and we have seen even a district headquarter like Hisar, there was a no capacity more than 100 patients to accommodate in government hospital in case of such thing happen, which is in fact very bad thing to discuss here. And therefore, some budget allocation have been increased to perhaps create a better health infrastructure. Although it is not going to happen in a day or two, it may take very long time to create such a infrastructure. But fine, we have started today, and perhaps we would be able to do it. A good beginning, which I can say another sector where I can welcome. Okay, this is also fine. Education sector was expecting a lot, although there has been some provision for 50,000 crore rupees next 5 years, which I do not subscribe as something very concrete, because new education policy, the government of India has announced that they are going to implement it, but the way it was expected to have a budgetary support for the education sector, to that tune, the education sector has not got the attention of the government, of which I feel really very bad. And another sector, that is the disinvestment point of view, because I'm not going to touch all the sector. This disinvestment, where the government has targeted 1.75 lakh crore rupees of disinvestment they will going to get. Okay, first of all, I can see this is very much possible, provided government really do it. Why it is possible? Because this time government has chosen to sell the share of LIC, the Life Corporation of India. For the information of this, I must update you. Life Insurance Corporation of India is the richest organization in India. And if even 15% or 10% or 12% of the LIC share is sold out through IPOs, which I'm expecting maybe in October, November this year, perhaps it may alone generate to the tune of 60,000 crore rupees or 70,000 crore, because it is a case of book building. But I can expect anything more than 60,000 crore rupees. So it is a very much cash cow. And one very important thing with the finance minister has made it very clear that government has no business to remain in business. I fully support this point of view, because government is in business so long as the private entrepreneur is not getting mature in that business. Once there is a private entrepreneur, then government should take the seat of a mentor, of a you can say the referee, and let the competition happen into the private sector, as it has been happening in automobile, it has been happening in telecommunication, it has been happening in IT, and it has been happening in electronics, and even in pharmaceutical. So therefore, when a good competition will happen, not only the quality of service or the product will improve, but the price would be competitive, and ultimately the consumer would be the benefited. Therefore, those who raise the voices that government is selling this, government is selling this, honestly speaking, although they may be, I do not say they may be in majority or minority, I respect both. But to my view, government should have no business to be in business, and the business should be handed over to the business sector, so that they can run the show very efficiently. If I cite an example of Maruti Suzuki here, because 15 years back in Maruti company, government of India was partner to the tune of 50%. And so long the government was the partner, Maruti Suzuki was not able to make a significant impact in terms of quality product and in terms of the accessibility to market. It was selling hardly 1,50,000 car per annum. But today you look at, if you have the data with you, Maruti Suzuki, now fully owned by the Suzuki Corporation Japan, is selling 2 lakh car per month, almost 2 lakh car per month, and is significantly competing with the Japanese companies, South Korean companies, and all that. And in R&D also, it means every terms, like in safety terms, last time that this great this one that was 4-rated Maruti, I do not recollect that particular vehicle. I mean to say that from where the government has exited respectfully, that sector has flourished tremendously, and the customers and the consumers and the government and the society at large has been the beneficiary. So therefore, if the business is run by the efficient people, provided that there is a smooth selling, it should be transparent, there should be no hanky-panky. This is always in the best interest of any economy of our stature, because we are now struggling to be an economy of I think $3 trillion first, and then the $5 trillion, and we have great dream to realize. So therefore, if in gradually there is a consensus in the government that fine, government should not be there in business for very long time, and slowly if government exit from these businesses where the mature private entrepreneurship and competitive entrepreneurship is there, that is also going to benefit. So I'm not sure whether we would be able to realize 1.75 lakh crore, but I must tell you the companies which they have targeted this time are really cash cow. So their valuations are very attractive. So certainly if they are determined to do it, they can achieve it to a larger extent. However, they have planned a very big target of capital expenditure, and this capital expenditure is projected, as my colleague Professor Sanjeev Kumar was saying. So if the capital expenditure is not achieved, certainly it may be largely because of that disinvestment target is not achieved. Because you have to see from where the finance will come. Certainly the taxation part, although the taxation part has not been, I mean, revamped much this time. As you know, the GST is now under the direct control of GST Council, and the finance minister now does not put any proposal with respect to GST in the parliament. But the custom duty they have been raised. I think these are maybe temporary measure in a economy which is going to be open up for the world. Raising the custom duty is always called as regressive steps. So these regressive steps, if these are temporary, this is fine. But if these steps are permanent, they will signal something wrong. And the multinational corporations which are doing great businesses in hundreds of the countries, they would certainly they have a right to raise the doubt, or you can say you are backing from the opening of the economy or globalizing the economy like that. So if these are the temporary measures just to offset your losses, or just to help temporarily due to pandemic your local domestic entrepreneur, or to temporarily create a kind of level playing field for the domestic entrepreneur in the name of whatever you call Atmanirbhar Bharat, or whatever you call it. But these are not very appreciated kind of policies. It is very well perceived in the world of taxation that whenever you reduce the rate of taxes, the total collection of your revenues goes up. It is well searched, every researcher, everybody who is in the public finance, the scholar of public finance would agree that only if you want to raise the tax collection, you should reduce the tax rate. So tax rates, if you are increasing, it gives something, not very good signal. So therefore, in terms of taxation part also, although nothing has happened in case of direct taxes, only for just a stringent view on taxing the provident fund kind of withdrawal, and these are the not pursued well by the middle man or the employees in particular, because they are not going to generate handsome revenues even as well. Although other day when you will apply the direct tax code, then all these exemption and rebate, they may go, but they will go when you will offset them through the minimum exemption limit, and you will further modernize the taxation rate. Perhaps they could defer it somehow, but they have done it. Therefore, also not something to be welcome again. However, on the whole, because I may be running out of time, so overall, if I say that this budget, although 35 lakh crore rupees is a good, you can say, augmentation increase from the last year, but still these are the proposals. And what is the because these proposal may create doubt, this time you have created 1.75 crore, but last year you just achieved 20% of it. A budget, if I appreciate it subject to certain conditions, I may appreciate these parts of the budget provided these proposals are actually realized. And if these proposals are not actually realized, then there is no useful exercise to appreciate them. And other day we are not able to achieve because this year around 10% deficit, and next year around 7% deficit. And if at the end of the day, if actually we go beyond 10% and go beyond 7%, then the fiscal management of the country would be under suspicious analysis by the global players, global investors, the global manufacturer, or those who are willing to come to India as a partner, to be the partner of India to take forward. So therefore, this budget is not only for the citizen of this country. The whole world is eyeing on you. Whatever as a government you are proposing, if you do not realize them in its letter and spirit, I still see that pending cases of Vodafone are still there, and there is a pending case of a few more companies. Even there was a future deal recently that also under some litigation, because when we say these create suspicious kind of philosophy in the mind of foreign investors. You should be as transparent as possible in terms of your taxation policy. I do not find it fit that the government of India, their department, is fighting against the multinational company into the Supreme Court and High Courts, and finally these companies are struggling. Even it is a case of AGR and all that, because really the net worth of honest taxpayers are destroyed through this kind of litigation. So therefore, one thing is proposed in this text, that there would be no face-to-face interaction in due course of time, and the interface would be almost to zero. If it would happen, certainly that is another point to be appreciated, because that would automatically put a very, I think, clear check on kind of corruption, because when we are face-to-face, when we are discretion, whether we can tax or whether we cannot, whether we can issue notice or not. So these are the proposals are good, but these proposals are good so long as these are implemented in it right spirit. But if these proposals are not implemented, because these proposals have been there in the policy for quite long, but their implementation process is not as fast as expected. So it is with this, while I appreciate this budget for a few sectors which have been opened for the reforms and for the global investment as well, I'm also conscious that the kind of sector like education perhaps that needed more attention, because for the first time after 1986, we are creating a kind of environment that we are going to implement education policy and going to revamp the whole education system of the country. It would not be possible to revamp the system unless it has a responsible budgetary support. So where I find that still a lot was expected here, and the expectations have not been duly met, and even the middleman is not also very happy. So therefore, we should also give due respect to that sector of the society which is not happy, and how it is happy, and why their expectations have been skying high, and what has happened, why they have not been trade off perfectly. So these are the issues which will remain. As an analyst, we should put our views in place, because in either side we take, okay, this is excellent, and we say this is nothing in this budget. I think this is not our job. We have to just see what is good and what is going to happen from that, and if what has we opportunity we have lost, and how we can look into it, because this is not going to be the last budget. The budget is an annual feature, so the policy should be in continuation, and I would be happy that if we can create more job opportunity, and more job opportunity can happen when we open our sector for the competition, for the privatization, for the globalization, and we liberalize them. So this is with this, I expect that perhaps we would be able to give a direction to this nation, to different sectors, and next time we may take those sectors which have not been given due importance this time because of the unusual economic circumstances that we were facing. So with this, I wish this budget manthan all the best, and thank you very much. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor has joined us, so therefore I close my views here, and we would be happy to listen our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable views. And here I welcome our very respected and present my greetings and good afternoon to respected and honorable Vice Chancellor of Guru Jameshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar, Mr. Professor Tankeshwar Kumar. Sir, you are welcomed in this Manthan, the analysis of Union Budget, which is in collaboration with Dainik Jagran, India's one of the leading Hindi newspaper. So welcome, sir.
Thank
And I
you.
go ahead
Thank
and
you. Okay, so I was just listening to some other things happening in the Manthan, Dainik Jagran Manthan on the budget by Professor Karampal. Yeah, it's a very good activity which the department, I'd say the Rana School of Business is doing, and they are doing it for every budget. So it's a very, very important because we are, creating the business MBAs and MCOM from our department, and many research scholars are working on it. And it is annual budget is an event. Annual budget is an event. And different people look at the budget in different ways, right? So even you look at your own life, at a different time we have been looking at the budget in a different ways, but पहले यही सोचते थे कि क्या सस्ता हो गया, क्या महंगा हो गया, कौन सी चीज किराया बढ़ा के नहीं बढ़ा, रेलवे का, all these things were very important for us, right? When we were very young. But when you grown up, when you have, start paying the income tax, then you start looking at, okay, क्या आपकी income में आपका क्या बढ़ावा हुआ, income में क्या बढ़ावा हुआ, और इसमें क्या आपका income tax में क्या rebate मिला, right? These things were important. So that things make somebody looking at the budget. So किसी ने सिर्फ वही देखना है कि budget में क्या income tax में rebate हुआ. और some people look at कि उनकी जो मार्केट जिन्होंने शेयर खरीद रखे हैं उन्होंने वो यही सोचते रहते हैं कि क्या उनकी शेयर की वैल्यू कैसे बढ़ी. और कुछ लोग जो हैं वो बजट को डिफरेंटली इंडस्ट्रीज जो हैं डिफरेंटली देखते हैं कि क्या इसमें क्या स्कोप है, क्या इसमें स्कोप है. तो पीपल डिफरेंटली सी द different budget, not only differently but different people see the budget differently. And you're in whole time of life also you see the things differently from different age to age, right? So so it may we're talking about the happiness. The happiness you have to draw from whatever is available. But I was just looking at the budget, in the budget debate on the TV. I always find that it is not debated by the people of the economics. It is not debated by the, even let's say the students, as you are doing in the present Manthan, where you have the no politicians involved. It is only the the students and the professors, and maybe you have some chartered accountants and some the people are discussing the thing in real sense. So that is the way I look at your whatever you say in this, it will be coming out of your the real analysis of the things, right? I was the other way looking at the BSE index has gone up. I that's I look at the budget. We are working on the infrastructure, and it has highlights that is a health. It is a health and the infrastructure. Other health infrastructure will be given importance. And I just remember the day when I came to this university in 2015, and we have this road from Chandigarh to Hisar. It was just a 2-lane road, and now it is totally 4-lane. So that is a look at the infrastructure change. And it has, I see that it was very difficult for me to find where to stop and get a cup of tea. Right now, I see many. At least I have to, for me even. Maybe for others it may be more, but for me even I look at I have 20 places where I can stop and have even a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner. So that the infrastructure, the road has been created. The road has been created. The rest of the things are coming up automatically on the road infrastructure itself, right? So the one, if you create infrastructure, the various things which will come out as a auxiliary or whatever you say, that will come up, right? So that will come up where we see the public will be involving itself, right? So that is the way I look at. If the government develop the real infrastructure the country require, then I think the public, the participation in the side by business will be more, and that will bring some, self-employment also and employment also, right? So that is the way I look at the infrastructure is very, very important. I don't know how much it will be, as is there in the budget, how much it will be transformed. That will be look into the one after 1 year or whatever, there's time we have to see and how we grow. Okay. So that is that is the way I look at the budget, and this budget, and every budget need not to be the same, because as Kampal was saying, it is annual event. Okay, maybe we stress this year on the health, maybe next year maybe on the more on the education, more on the, I don't know, that kind of thing may happen in the future also. And it's an annual budget, and we should see that what is coming out of this budget in the positive in this year. Okay, the next positive thing will come maybe in the next year. Okay, so this is a continuous process going on and on. So let's hope that something is positive is there for everybody, in directly or indirectly, right? So directly or indirectly, it should be it should improve the the lifestyle of life, not the lifestyle, I would say the livelihood of of everybody. So with these words, I congratulate all the faculty members, and all the Dainik Jagran also I thank the Dainik Jagran for giving its participation in this manthan. So with these words, I stop here, and thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. It was really a blessing listening you, and Team HSB feel blessed having your words. Now I will request our Honorable Director to please present his views, and before moving to the next resource person.
Well, we have listened to Honorable Vice Chancellor, and I think he has rightly concluded, because it is an annual feature of the budget, and this budget has also given some direction in certain sector. So therefore, we should see what is good here, and we should see what is left here. This is the job of the professional, job of the analyst, and the Dainik Jagran has been our regular associate in this activity. So every time we put on place our gratitude, our thanks, that it create an environment, a platform for our students, for our professors to make manthan on the annual budget, and that goes to the benefit of one and all. And our chartered accountant Sri Ashok Goyalji has also given his views, and these views are beneficial to our students. And our dear colleagues, Professor N.K. Bishnoi and Professor Sanjeev Kumar also made some careful analysis of certain part. And this is how the very purpose of all the activity, this whole activity, is to enlighten our student. First of all, the complete data I have sent you to the your WhatsApp group. Do glance through the data, because the statistics would enlighten you as to what has happened. And now, since we have discussed it for last almost 2 hours, we are discussing it. So then this data will certainly make you understand as to what is the direction, in which direction we are going. And therefore, if we are going in a right direction, then it's very fine. And if our direction need to be corrected, as a professional, as a student, as a scholar, it is your duty to point out, okay, this is where we need to be corrected, because we all are the responsible citizen. We are among those 2% of the Indian population.
Professor Pal, I think there should be some time be left for the discussion, please. बच्चे
हाँ।
वेट कर रहे हैं ना, बजट तो उन्हीं के लिए किया हमने।
संजीव सर प्लीज 1 मिनट, एक बार सारे लोग अपने वीडियो कर ले ताकि एक फोटोग्राफ, वो न्यूज़पेपर की तरफ से डिमांड है आपकी फोटोग्राफ ठीक आ जाए।
जी सर, जी।
प्लीज स्विच ऑन योर ऑल वीडियोस,
Yes, yes.
आपकी फोटो ताकि आ जाए।
Every student is requested to please
Riya,
turn on his video.
अरुण शुक्ला,
Students, please.
साक्षी,
Also request Honorable Vice Chancellor,
वाइस चांसलर सर प्लीज।
one photograph for the, yes, good. I think,
सर का वीडियो ऑन नहीं हुआ है।
okay, मैं टेलीफोन करता हूँ एक बार।
साक्षी, ये ऋषा प्लीज।
Students are requested to please turn on their videos.
मैं एक बार,
वीसी साहब हैं क्या अभी ऑनलाइन है? वीसी साहब
हाँ वीर साहब जुड़े हुए हैं, एक बार आ जाएंगे बस।
एक बार वीडियो ऑन करवाता हूँ।
जागृति,
तुम अपना ऑन रखना ताकि मुझे एकदम जरूरत
ये
पड़े।
जागृति,
इसको भी ऑन कर ले।
अपना वीडियो ऑन कीजिए।
सर एक बार वीडियो ऑन करना सर, एक फोटो लेना एक बार। हाँ अभी कर रहे हैं सर, ऑन कर रहे हैं।
यस यस,
लेट्स वेट फॉर ए व्हाइल। ओके, अरे यार क्या है?
Yes.
यस सर, आगे या
हाँ
क्लिक।
जी, हाँ जी।
यस
सर गुड इवनिंग,
गुड इवनिंग,
कैसे हैं
बधाई है
सर?
भाई। हाँ,
थैंक यू
अच्छा,
सर, थैंक यू।
आधा ही सुना ना।
ओके दलवीर जी, इट्स फाइन।
बस 1 मिनट 1 मिनट।
1 minute, ओके।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
ओके रवि जी,
हाँ थैंक यू।
अब let the students have some
या let
views,
us,
some questions and ultimately है तो उन्हीं के लिए ना।
yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. And now I would request students to please take their questions if anyone has something in their mind related to the budget or this
May
discussion.
I?
Yes, they may,
Yeah, sure,
they may
sure.
target their question on the person concerned as well.
Yes, yes. Okay, sir.
Okay. May I? This is
No,
Riya from
Riya,
MBA General Section A, and I would like to ask, sir, what is the most challenging part of this budget, and which sector get the most advantage from this budget?
To whom this question is addressed,
Riya.
or the moderator can decide?
Sir, you can decide that who is going to answer. Our panel experts can decide that who is going to answer.
Anyway, like if I take this opportunity, I was waiting for Professor NK to respond to it. The student asked the most challenging part and the most beneficial sector, right? So the most challenging part, obviously, that is in the, like as Professor NK also has mentioned, and Professor Karampal ji and our third guest,
Ashok Goel.
Agrawal ji has also mentioned that the most challenging part is that this year's budget is made in the backdrop of the COVID. And because of the COVID, the economy contracted in first 2 quarters by almost 25%, means 25% downfall was there. And after adjusting and recovering in recent time, still the GDP was down by 7.78%. That was like estimation, but I feel it to be more than 10%. So when this background, when revenue was low, when so many other things was low, how to like address the different sector, because there was a demand, there was like from every sector. So that was the most challenging part for the finance minister, that how to adjust the requirement of the different sector by the limited capacity she had. But again, I said in beginning, it has to be continuum. That continuum I still add that was missing earlier also, and that is missing still now. That was the most challenging part. And the sector benefited, yes, the most benefited sector will be number one, health sector. And the other sector is the insurance and banking sector, as Dr. Karampal has already put it. So these will two sectors, and along with the health sector will, I think, should get a big boost, and that in long run will benefit the economy also. That's my take. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, sir.
And
may
I
I
think
ask one question, sir?
Please wait, Sachin. I think Professor N.K. Bishnoy has to say something.
Well,
Sure, sir.
what Professor Sanjeev has said, I would like to add only one thing. that I slightly disagree with my learned friend, Professor Karampal, when he said that broadly we have a consensus on economic reforms. Unfortunately, on the outer of Delhi, the farmers are not ready to accept the reforms, despite lot of expert opinion being that they are in favor of farm. So the same thing I repeat, which I have already said, is that when government in this budget proposes that they are going big for privatization of insurance company and banks, if government succeed in that, and success is possible only and only by developing a consensus of the stakeholders. So if governments, agree in that, implementing it smoothly, then I think that the biggest challenge and biggest reward would be, with all my experience, I can say our growth would exceed 10% within 2-3 years if government succeed in this time itself. But it's a big challenge, in my opinion. If government succeed, it's good. Otherwise, let us say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now, Sakshi, you can take your question. Sakshi.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, Sakshi. Please proceed with your
My question is, sir, there was an amendment in the finance bill. I just want to know why government has taken the decision to omit section 35, subsection 5.
संजीव सर,
अरे कहाँ चले गए?
संजीव सर कहाँ चले गए?
यही है सर, यही है
सर। मुझे कुछ कहना था,
मेरी बैटरी डाउन हो गई है
सर। मुझे कुछ कहना था सर, मुझे ये कहना था कि मैंने कहा था कि ब्रॉडली कंसेंसस है, यानी कि देखिए सेक्टर में कंसेंसस है, वहां पर रिफॉर्म होते हैं, जहां कंसेंसस नहीं वहां नहीं होते। तो मैं अपने लर्नर कलीग को ये कहना चाहूंगा कि गवर्नमेंट की ड्यूटी है कंसेंसस क्रिएट करे।
यस सर, आई एग्री विद यू कि लार्जली कंसेंसस है। इशू क्या है? इशू इस गवर्नमेंट के, मतलब लाइक आई मस्ट नॉट से, बट एज ए academician let me put it on record, the overall credibility of this government is not very promising. So the consensus on the reform is not the issue, but the credibility of the government is under scanner. So that is the issue. So I agree with you, Professor Pal.
Well, I think we should keep things very simple and straight. And my only thing is that I still stick to my view that consensus with regard to privatization of the government sector is still not there. And somehow I feel if we succeed in this, unfortunately, we are stuck in this, that what I mean to say is, when government try to privatize a bank or insurance sector or some company like Air India or something like this, so I wish it a great success. If government succeed, I am happy. Otherwise, I slightly fear that government may not succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Sakshi, please repeat your question. What was your question? Please go with that.
Good evening, sir. My question is that there was an amendment in the finance bill. I just want to know why government has taken the decision to omit the section 35, subsection 5.
ये क्वेश्चन जनरेट नहीं हुआ।
टेक्निकल
ये तो अशोक गोयल साहब या करमपाल सर बताएंगे।
Anything related to section, subsection, the question should be referred to chartered accountant Goel साहब।
नहीं, कौन से सेक्शन की बात कर रहे हैं जी?
सर सेक्शन 35 सबसेक्शन 35 जीएसटी ऑडिट का रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है ये।
हाँ जी, अच्छा, जीएसटी ऑडिट उन्होंने बंद कर दिया जी। एक बार पहले ये था कि चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट से जीएसटी ऑडिट होगा ईयरली बेसिस पे। अब शायद उन्होंने इस बात को नहीं माना और जीएसटी ऑडिट को खत्म कर दिया। रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, वो कहते हैं जैसे ऑनलाइन सारे रिटर्न्स आ रही हैं, ऑनलाइन सारी चेकिंग हो रही है, तो जीएसटी ऑडिट may not be required, but it is not good. Why they have taken this step, it is not known.
Okay, thank you, sir. And now Akshay has.
Hello. Good evening, sir. Sir, my question is for Ashok Goel, sir. कि सर जब बजट आता है 1 फरवरी को, उसके बाद सर अमेंडमेंट कब तक उसके अंदर इंक्लूड होती है, और वो सर बिल बजट से वो एक्ट कब बनता है, और कितनी अमेंडमेंट और कितने टाइम कितने मंथ के लिए वो स्टडी किया जाता है कि मार्च में या अप्रैल में या जून में कब वो एक्ट बनता है सर?
सर पहले ये तकरीबन बजट 28 फरवरी को आया करता है, तो जाके जुलाई में पास हो पाता था, ये जून के एंड में, ये जून के एंड में परमिशन मिलती थी। तो 1 जुलाई से जो प्रोसीजरल पार्ट था वो 1 जुलाई से शुरू होता था। लेकिन बजट मेनली क्या है, जो अब का बजट है वो असेसमेंट ईयर 22-23 के लिए, अगले साल के लिए 21-22 के लिए है, जो 1 अप्रैल से ट्रांजैक्शन शुरू होंगी उस पे है। तो अब इसीलिए इन्होंने प्रीपोन कर दिया 2 साल से, 1 फरवरी से शुरू कर दिया, ताकि भाई 31 मार्च ये पास हो जाए। अब 31 मार्च को तकरीबन पास हो जाता है, तो 1 अप्रैल से शुरू हो जाती हैं सारी ट्रांजेक्शन। और कुछ अमेंडमेंट्स में ये स्पेसिफिक लिखा होता है, ये इस डेट से एप्लीकेबल होगी।
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And now I would request Indrajit. He has something to say. Please, Indrajit, proceed with your question.
Good evening, sir.
My
my question is from Sanjeev sir and Karampal sir. Sir, in last year Manthan, it was stated that the government is planning to sell 10% or something part of LIC, and we all were in a favor. We all were in against that. Why government is disinvesting such a profitable company? And now also the Karampal sir has already said that in LIC insurance sector there is increase in FDI from 49% to 74%. But sir, I guess in 2014 BJP government is opposing to increase the FDI for more than 49%. They were saying that in insurance sector there should not more than 49%, and now they are increasing the FDI.
Well, Indrajit, I will give a non-political reply to your question, and political reply will be given by Professor Sanjeev Kumar.
Okay.
And the non-political reply.
Okay, I request not to qualify the statement, but yes, we'll see who is politically correct and who is academically correct. I'll wait for your answer. Try to be brief, please.
Yeah, let me see. Indrajit says X party was opposing, Y party was doing, now Y party is doing, X is not opposing. I think this is the answer of your question. It means there is consensus of this issue. Another important thing is the insurance sector, the private player in the insurance sector have gone very mature now. They are fully capable of take forward the legacy of insurance business in India. And that is why it is a good time to start exiting from insurance business. I have told you as a student of economics management, whatever you understand, that government should have no business to stay in business when there is a mature entrepreneurship in the country. And that is why the very critical issue you have raised, these are the neither at this moment, this is not BJP government nor Congress government. There is a government only one word government. It means government was happy previously too for opening the insurance. Government is happy this time too. It means there is no contradiction in the government policy, which is why I say that in certain field, certain sector, there is a consensus on economic reforms. And wherever it is not, it is the duty of the government to create consensus before going ahead. Over to Professor Sanjeev Kumar for political reply.
Yes, sir. Anyway, जो मैंने स्टार्टिंग में कहा था कि गवर्नमेंट की जो पॉलिसी है, जो गवर्नमेंट का विजन है, उसमें कंटिन्यूटी है कि नहीं है, उसमें कंटिन्यूम है कि नहीं है. अगर कोई भी डिसीजन उस कंटिन्यूटी का एक पार्ट है, then it is said to be a wise economic and wise governing decision. और अगर वो कंटिन्यूटी मिसिंग है, then I'll say कि इसके पीछे कुछ और चीज है. Like as far as privatization is concerned, I agree in entirety with my other two colleagues that government has no business to be in business unless until it is really needed. But having said this, as regards to LIC, क्या ये जो policy है like to privatize and not to get out of the business, क्या ये government as a policy कर रही है या इस साल government की बहुत बड़ी मजबूरी हो गई कि उसको LIC में 74 आना पड़ा। मैं इसको देखता हूँ कि वो कंटिन्यूटी पिछले 5 साल में 4-5-7 साल में मिसिंग थी। The government was सारे economists and सारे all the thinkers are agree on this. If you go through the different editorials even, the government was missing on the economic reforms. Missing on economic reform means government was not taking good on privatizing the especially those government undertakings which were not doing well. But this year LIC, why LIC? Now I say क्योंकि LIC को का शेयर बेचना इनकी मजबूरी है, कैश का है, पैसा तो वहीं से आएगा, बाकी जगह से आ नहीं सकता। कोई एयर इंडिया नहीं खरीदेगा, कोई और there are so many other private companies, so many other public companies. Now coming to LIC, एक मिनट में इंद्रजीत मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि क्यों गवर्नमेंट बेचना चाह रही है। एक तो LIC की जो इमेज है, whenever there is an economic crisis, when there is issue, government look towards LIC के मार्केट में ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशंस करने हैं, मार्केट में पैसा लगाना है, उठाना है। LIC is one saving grace for the government. अब मैं आपको LIC के एक छोटा सा इशू बताता हूँ। जितना इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर में LIC का जो मार्केट शेयर है, यानी कि जितना LIC सारे प्लेयर्स को मिला दो, अगर हम बात करते हैं, इसको ध्यान से सुनना, इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रीमियम, आई रिपीट, इससे पहले मैं एक बात बताता हूँ, टोटल इंश्योरेंस जो पेनिट्रेशन है, यानी कि अगर देश में 100 लोग हैं, उनमें से कितने लोगों का इंश्योरेंस है, तो वो लोग 3 और 4 के बीच में है। 100 में से सिर्फ 3 से 4 लोगों का इंश्योरेंस हुआ है। मींस द पोटेंशियल इज इमेंस। इस पोटेंशियल को बिल्टअप किसने किया? LIC ने बिल्टअप किया, और जो प्राइवेट सेक्टर बाकी लोग आए थे उन्होंने बिल्टअप किया है। तो इस 3-4% शेयर में LIC का शेयर कितना है? उस 4% में LIC का शेयर इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रीमियम रिसीव्ड, दैट इज रफली 50%, a little more than 50%, यानी कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर 50% में आ गए हैं। बट इफ यू टॉक इन टर्म्स ऑफ द पॉलिसीज, बात ध्यान से सुनना, अगर हम पॉलिसी की बात करें तो LIC का शेयर आज भी 75% है। इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि नंबर ऑफ पॉलिसीज किसकी बिकती है? LIC की। प्रीमियम में शेयर बराबर है। दैट मींस द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर्स ऑफ द LIC आर द स्मॉल पीपल। हु आर द स्मॉल पीपल? हु डू नॉट हैव फेथ इन प्राइवेट सेक्टर। और आप अपनी कैश को बेच रहे हैं।
यस सर, एग्जैक्टली यही बोलना चाह रहा था मैं भी।
अपनी PSUs ऑफलोड करनी है, ऑफलोड करें। एज ए इकोनॉमिक डिसीजन आई वेलकम इट, बट सिंगल आउट करना, एक चीज ढूंढना, मजबूरी में करना, दैट इज नॉट अ वाइज डिसीजन। ठीक है, आपकी कैश का बेचो भाई, और कुछ आपके पास है नहीं तो बेचो। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
हाँ, सेकंडली सर,
पॉलिटिकल एनालिसिस कहिए या इकोनॉमिक एनालिसिस कहिए, वो आपकी चॉइस है।
हाँ सर, सेकंडली आई वांट टू ऐड सर, जैसे अभी LIC के अलावा भी अभी जैसे और प्राइवेटाइज करने के लिए कह रहे हैं, जैसे IDBI बैंक और भारत पेट्रोलियम। सर आई गेस 3 साल हो गए होंगे एयर इंडिया को, मतलब 3 साल में एयर इंडिया तो मतलब हुआ नहीं सेल, तो और भी जैसे प्राइवेटाइजेशन करने का वो कहने लग रहे हैं। तो सर ये इतना कुछ है मतलब आगे स्कोप इसका प्राइवेटाइजेशन का? क्योंकि प्राइवेटाइजेशन तो मेनली लॉस मेकिंग का ही करा जाता है। जैसे अब एयर इंडिया का एग्जांपल मैं कह रहा था, 3 साल हो गए सर, गवर्नमेंट का कोई इन्वेस्टर मिल ही नहीं रहा उसको लेने के लिए। तो फिर मतलब सर पहले पुराने ही प्राइवेटाइजेशन।
यू आर राइट, इसीलिए तो क्वेश्चन है। इसलिए तो लास्ट ईयर में 2 लाख ऊपर से 2 लाख करोड़ से का टारगेट था, उसमें से आपने सिर्फ 30,000 करोड़ आपने गार्डनर किए हैं, वो भी अभी पूरे नहीं आए हैं। तो 1,75,000 करोड़ में से आप कितने कर? LIC से जरूर कर लेंगे, दैट इज वन थिंग।
हाँ, LIC से। हाँ, तो
बाकियों से अगेन लाइक इट हैज टू बी सम वाइज डिसीजन, इट हैज टू बी।
संजीव सर, आपकी आवाज कट के आ रही है।
Sir, you are not audible.
Yes, sir. I want to ask a new question from Mr. Ashok Goyal, sir.
Sir,
actually, hello, I'm audible?
Yes, please.
Yeah, actually, sir, I was listening you were saying that many people are thinking that government will increase the tax, but sir, there are large population who are thinking that government use the tax.
I apologize, very sorry, like my battery off हो गई थी मोबाइल की, तो आधा रह गया, इसको मैं कंक्लूड कर देता हूँ। मेरा कहने का मतलब कि अगर कंटिन्यू में होता, if the government is really willing, the government can find the ways, सीधे तरीके से बहुत आसानी से तो प्राइवेटाइज नहीं होंगे, but yes, IDBI सेक्टर में प्राइवेटाइजेशन हो जाएगा, एयर इंडिया में दिक्कत है। Now over to you, Shubham.
Yes, sir.
हाँ सर,
अशोक गोयल सर से वो क्वेश्चन था, मतलब कि many population was thinking that government should reduce the tax, क्योंकि सर अभी वही लॉकडाउन में इनकम है नहीं, मतलब सेविंग से टैक्सिंग डिक्रीज होगा तो सेविंग इंक्रीज होगी और इन्वेस्टमेंट ज्यादा होगी. सो मतलब सो इसका आपका क्या व्यू है सर इसमें, मतलब गवर्नमेंट शुड रिड्यूस द टैक्स as there is no change in the tax
वही
rate.
बात है ना, गवर्नमेंट का बजट माइनस में है तो इस टाइम ऑप्शन ही नहीं है कम करने की, और लोग बोलेंगे भी नहीं. ज्यादा नहीं हुआ तो इट इज वेल एंड गुड. कम करने के लिए कोई उम्मीद भी नहीं कर रहा कोविड की वजह से, इसलिए वो लोगों को सेटिस्फाइड करने के भी लिए है, और गवर्नमेंट के पास इतनी गुंजाइश भी नहीं है भी उसको कम कर पाए उस चीज को. मतलब कुशन ही नहीं है ना गवर्नमेंट के पास भी कम कर दे उस चीज को. और वैसे भी जो टैक्स रेट्स हैं वो मोर और लेस काफी नॉर्मल है एज कंपेयर टू अदर कंट्रीज. दीज आर वेरी नॉर्मल एट दिस स्टेज. क्वेश्चन टैक्स रेट बढ़ाने और कम करने का नहीं है, एक जनरल जो बात है हाउ टू मेक यूज ऑफ दोज फंड्स. क्वेश्चन इज ऑफ मैनेजमेंट. अब जैसे जीएसटी आया, बहुत सिंप्लीफाई करने की बात थी, लेकिन वो इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड आया, अभी आज 4 साल के बाद भी हम सेटअप नहीं कर पाए उस चीज को. देयर आर डेली चेंजेस, डेली न्यू सर्कुलर्स, बिकॉज जब हम इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं तो गवर्नमेंट की प्रेशर में उसको इमीडिएटली इम्प्लीमेंट कर देते हैं विदाउट गेटिंग द फीडबैक. अभी जैसे किसान आंदोलन वाली बात भी आ रही थी, अगर हम लोगों को समझा पाए भी ये है क्या चीज तो शायद इतना प्रोटेस्ट नहीं हो. पार्लियामेंट में जैसे जल्दी से बिल पास हो जाते हैं विदाउट टेकिंग इनटू द कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ द स्टेक होल्डर्स. अगर उनको कॉन्फिडेंस में लिया जाए और कोई नेसेसरी चेंजेस हैं उनको भी बनाया जाए तो नोबडी विल अपोज इट. सिमिलरली गवर्नमेंट की टैक्सेशन में भी यही प्रॉब्लम आती है. तो आज तो फंड्स ही नहीं है तो रेट्स ठीक है, लेकिन जीएसटी में जैसे इतने फ्रॉड्स हो रहे हैं क्योंकि एकदम से इम्प्लीमेंट कर देते हैं, पीपल आर नॉट रेडी फॉर दैट. और एक हमारी जो थोड़ी वीकनेस है वो कॉपी दी अदर कंट्रीज. मान लो यूएस में ऐसा जीएसटी या फलाने में ऐसा हम कर रहे हैं, हमारे पास कंप्यूटर नहीं है लोगों के पास शॉप पे, तो वो कैसे जीएसटी की रिटर्न भरेंगे, ऑनलाइन कैसे जाएंगे. दे डोंट हैव आईडीज, दे डोंट हैव द इंटरनेट, और कई जगह इंटरनेट काम नहीं कर रहा है. तो ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स को हमें अपना बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर को भी पहले रिव्यू करके उसके बाद कोई इम्प्लीमेंट करें तो ज्यादा बेटर हो, लोगों को परेशानी नहीं हो. दैट इज द मेन प्रॉब्लम. लेकिन टैक्स रिडक्शन की अभी कोई गुंजाइश भी नहीं है और इट इज ओके.
एनीवे, जो अग्रवाल जी ने कहा मैं उसके कंटिन्यू में शुभम एंड माय अदर कलीग्स एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ. अग्रवाल जी की बात से मैं इसको फर्दर करूंगा कि इन टाइम्स ऑफ क्राइसिस और अदरवाइज आल्सो मेन इश्यू क्या है कि आप अपनी चीजों को, अपने डिसीजंस को मैनेज कैसे करते हैं. जीएसटी में बहुत सारे इश्यूज थे, बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स थे, यानी कि एक ब्रॉडर लेवल की जो प्रॉपर प्लानिंग है, प्रॉपर थिंकिंग है, दैट इज मिसिंग. अब इस बजट में भी मैं कहता हूं, या इवन अगर हम बात मैंने एक स्टार्टिंग में कही थी कि आपका जो डिमांड साइड है, डिमांड साइड को बूस्ट कैसे करना है. बिना कंज्यूमर डिमांड के बूस्ट हुए इकोनॉमी में ग्रोथ नहीं आएगी. उसका एक तरीका हो सकता था कि टैक्स रेट्स कम किए जाएं, लेकिन जैसा अग्रवाल जी का टैक्स रेट ऑलरेडी कम है या ऑलरेडी ठीक है, मैं कम नहीं कहूंगा, बट स्टिल व्हाट इज द की? द की इज ऑलवेज आउट ऑफ बॉक्स थिंकिंग. वही तो गवर्नमेंट होती है ना, कि आप कोई ऐसा तरीका ढूंढ के लाते जिससे इकोनॉमी में स्पेंडिंग्स में बूस्ट हो सकता. वो तरीका क्या है वो मेरे अभी लाइक आई डोंट नो, बट व्हेन लॉट ऑफ ब्रेन्स सिट टुगेदर एंड दे फाइंड्स अ वे, देयर कुड हैव बीन अ वे, either maybe by marginal adjusting of the tax rates, the individual tax rates, or maybe some other measure that could have given a kind of a push to the demand side and also to the economy. That from this budget is entirely missing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your views. And I would request Madhuri to please unmute herself and take a question. Yes, Madhuri, please take your question.
Good evening, sir. I would like to put a context to that. Well, this year's economic survey, and even if you see the previous year's economic survey, that has talked of trickle-down approach in the way that as the country will move towards higher GDP growth rate, it will automatically improve the situation on poverty and hunger. But if we see the reality, given the Oxfam report, it has shown India as the nation with the highest divide between the haves and the have-nots. If I put it in the words of Karl Marx, Well, do you think it was the high time that government should have incorporated wealth tax, or do you see that the step on EPF contribution would be sufficient? That is my first question. Well, once you answer that, I will ask the second question.
Wealth tax, another one. Hello.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Madhuri, please repeat your
My
question.
question is directed to Professor Sanjeev, sir.
Yeah, Madhuri, I definitely, firstly, let me appreciate your question like anything. आपकी बात को
Thank you so much, sir.
थोड़ा फर्दर कर दूं, जो इंडिया में जो रिसेंट टाइम में जो गैप है बिटवीन द रिच एंड द पुअर, वो इंडिया में नहीं, अमेरिका में और बाकी बहुत जगह बढ़ा है, बहुत बड़ा है. इस पे एक बहुत प्यारी स्टडी आई है, फॉरगॉटन द नेम ऑफ द रिसर्चर, मे बी प्रोफेसर एनके में ऐड लिटिल, इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स में भी छपी थी अभी संडे और सैटरडे, मे बी ऑन लाइक दैट डे. इसको मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि अमेरिका इज अ केस स्टडी. आई थिंक अमेरिका इज अ केस स्टडी, देन विल कम टू इंडिया. Like 80s, roughly 2010 तक अमेरिका में 2010 तक जो गैप था rich or poor में, वो gap was converging and that gap was less, and it was attributed that the spending on the high school in America was like quite quality education was there, and because of that quality education, that gap, that the people's ability to work, people's ability to earn was increasing. What happened after like this IT era? Like the same thing was not about the college and university education was not accessible to the poor in America, and that also true about other countries. The high-tech education, good quality education was not accessible to the lower middle class, and because of that, their ability to earn was going down. So they said that the average wage, the contribution of the school was earlier high, but with the IT coming, that the average wage of the laborers was the increasing, the gap was increasing, and it was attributed to lack of high-tech education available to the masses. Now come to India. So how would you merge this gap? The only way to merge this gap, there are two ways. One is that accessible to the quality education that upgrade the skills and ability to earn. And second is generation of the job. And generation of the job will have, like education, you all know. In India, this year also, the spending on education has gone down. And we talk of the good budget. How come I am unable to call this budget, or for that matter, initial budget as a good budget? By just announcing new economic policy, the education is not going to change. Your spending has gone down. In India, if you talk of schools, 50% of the schools do not have the potable water. What else we can talk? And our private, just one thing, sir. And are the private schools and private and better universities, the poorest do not have access to. So education access to everybody and the downtrodden will be one thing to merge this gap. And secondly, creation of jobs. And for that, like, okay, that's more of a domain of Professor N.K. So leave it to him.
Well, you see, when you look at Oxfam report, please keep in mind that inequality here, there are two methods to look at the inequality. And Oxfam report, but please, Oxfam report always look at the in relative terms, that lowest 20% and highest 20% or 5% or 10%. And one more thing, please remember, wealth is one thing, income is another thing. So Thomas Piketty, a French economist, has done a very pioneering work on this. And a few years back, he had a report, and Oxfam report may not be, I mean, that way, that authentic in the sense that Piketty has already, but Piketty has also substantiated what Oxfam says, that globally inequality has increased. But in response to that, Indian economist Surjit Bhalla has also undertaken that exercise. And Surjit Bhalla proves with his data and analysis, and that is available in the public domain, that globally, if we look at the, I mean, persons, Piketty is correct, but if we look at the countries, then inequality has reduced. That is the theoretical point. Second, all the data, please you take it from me. I am giving with all, sense of responsibility. Whenever continuously growth rate is high, poverty reduction has been highest. You would be surprised to learn, unfortunately, our media does not understand things, or they do not do their homework. But from 1990 to, 1 or 2 years back, up to 2018, more than 30 crore persons in India have crossed the poverty line. They below poverty line, they came above the poverty line. It has happened in India, and we must be proud of this fact. We can say inequality has increased because Tata has become more rich and Ambani has become more rich. That may be acceptable, but the poor person's consumption, their income, their standard of living has slightly improved, and they have come above the poverty line. So that is also a fact, and all the data is available, researches are available. So we must accept this thing, that higher growth is I do not want to use very harsh word, but if anybody says that growth is not helping poor, they are totally away from the reality. The world over, and also in India, when Professor Sanjeev says that more jobs, you see 1% of GDP growth means creation of 8 to 9 million jobs. So if 10% GDP is there, the problem of unemployment is taken care of in the country, because every year 1 crore persons are joining the workforce, and 10% growth will give 1 crore new jobs. So this is the only, higher growth is the only way, and that is why all economists or government or analysts, they would keep on saying that you improve the growth, go for privatization or foreign investment. So foreign investment is also not bad, efficiency is required, all these things. So please never think that growth has anything negative against the poor. There is no relation, no research, even a single research is not available. I don't know where this comes from, and students and newspaper persons, not much informed person keep on repeating this thing. It has harmed the poor very much. Please take this. Otherwise Oxfam report is correct, but it is in different perspective. Oxfam report क्या कह रही है कि वो जो गरीब थे उनके मुकाबले अमीर ज्यादा अमीर हो गए. Yes, I can agree to that, but poor के पास जिनको पहले खाने को नहीं था, अब they are in a much better position. We also need to understand this thing. But that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is a vast discussion, and we have less time, and we are running out of time. So now it's time to wind up the session, and I would give my gratitude and thanks to Vice Chancellor of the University, Keshwar Kumar, for joining the session, and our Director, Professor Karampal Larwar, without whom this could not have been possible, and Professor Sabnam Saxena, whose hand of supports and blessing are always with us, and Mr. Ashok Goyal, our expert and chartered accountant. A special thanks to Professor Sanjeev Kumar and Professor N.K. Bishnoi, and thank you for your valuable thoughts, sir. We learned a lot from you, and the team behind the successful this seminar, that is Dr. Sweta Singh, Dr. Rajiv sir, Dr. Himani Singh. Thank you for your efforts, and thank you, ma'am and sir. Big thanks to the activity coordinators and class representatives who all give their best to bring the students to us. And last but not the least, for the participants who participated in the event and made our objective get fulfilled for the successful conduction of the program. And we wind up this session with the hope that we will be conducting such seminars in the future for the betterment of students, and we will move forward towards a better tomorrow, and that is together towards a better tomorrow. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. And now I would request the host, if everything is done, so we can wind up the meeting. And I think our director is with us and he has something to say. So, sir, please, would you like to conclude before ending?
But you have concluded it. I think it is a good discussion. Many views have come, and it is our duty to discuss and generate new views. I don't feel that it is the job of the government to do everything. It is also our job to suggest good thing. If we suggest good thing today or tomorrow, they are definitely listened. And I believe the academician and the university level, the professional student and teachers like Professor Sanjeev Kumar, N.K. Bishnoi, and all that. I think their contribution today or tomorrow is taken on record. So that is good thing that we discuss, and I hope rest of the job will be taken care by the Shukla and his team to take it to the Indian population in latent spirit, not in any skewed manner. So that would be the rightest spirit if the same is brought to the public in terms of publication, that what are the views of expert on different sector, and how exactly the budget is going to give to direction to the economy, and where the finance minister has certain limitations, where the expectation have not been well trade off with the provisioning, and who is not happy and who is very happy. I mean, the analysis should be very fairly reported. This is what we are expecting from our partner, Dainik Jagran, so that the public at large stand benefit, and it may gather momentum to have a very conducive momentum for the faster economic growth of the nation, and that voice would ultimately reach to the government as well. Maybe it is a matter of days or month, but there is always optimism, and we being a citizen of this great nation, we should remain optimistic and put our views every time in as free as possible manner. So I also congratulate all of you, and really thankful to Dainik Jagran also, and my learned colleagues, especially our chartered accountant Ashok Goelji, for joining us and making a great contribution to make the event a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And with your permission, we would like to wind up the session.
Yeah, please wind up.